If you've heard about Filipino VAs and your first thought was, yeah, but would that actually work for a trade business? Fair question. So let me share my answer based on my own experience. So most tradies that I talk to have come across the idea of a VA somewhere before, whether that's a friend in a business group or maybe they saw something online. And in theory, of course, it makes sense. Someone comes in, they handle all of the admin, and then you get your time back. But then the questions really start of like, how does this work? One of the questions is, will they understand how an Australian trade business actually operates? Can they deal with my customers and my suppliers? And what about the time zones? What if I can't explain what I need over a screen? These are all reasonable questions. And the answer is yes, it works. But with the right structure, it makes all the difference. A Filipino VA who has been carefully selected and matched specifically to your business and onboarded properly can handle your admin work to the highest standard. And I've seen it across hundreds of trade businesses. But a VA found on some directory or freelancer platform that's just dropped into a business without any structure, well, that's where things fall apart. And that's probably what gives the whole idea a bad name. So why the Philippines specifically? The Philippines has a large workforce of highly educated English-speaking professionals who have been working remotely for international businesses for years. Many have degrees, many have worked in corporate environments, and the cultural alignment with Australian businesses, especially around the communication style, the work ethic, and the willingness to learn is strong. The other factor, of course, is cost. A skilled Filipino VA working full-time costs a fraction of what you'd pay for a local hire. And this is not about compromising on quality. In many cases, it can actually be a competitive advantage because you've got access to a wider talent pool in a different market where the cost of living is different. So at The Doing Co, we pay our VAs above market rate in the Philippines. We provide ongoing training, career development, and genuine job security. And that really matters to them because when a VA is well looked after, they're more likely to stay, perform well, and then grow with your business. And that matters because replacing a hire costs time, money, and of course, momentum for the business. Can a Filipino VA actually support a trade business? The short answer is yes. And these are the ways. Your VA isn't on site. They're handling everything that happens off site. So they're like mission control. They handle everything behind the scenes, the emails, supplier requests, invoicing, scheduling, bank rec, job costing tracking, WHS admin, all of these things that can happen on a computer. It doesn't matter whether the person is in Melbourne or Manila. What matters is that they understand your business and how you work. Every VA we place goes through our Match Sense vetting process. So we're screening for both hard skills and soft skills, communication, quality, remote work experience, overall reliability, and making sure that they're actually the right fit for your business. So we're not just finding someone who can do tasks, we're finding someone who can not only work the way that your business needs them to, but will develop as you and the business grows. And because we manage the VA on an ongoing basis, we do the training, the performance, the check-ins, you're not left to manage it all on your own. And that's the part that actually makes it all work. So we're not just finding a person, we're building the right structure around them from the beginning. Let me cover off a couple of things you might be wondering. Time zones. So the Philippines is only 2 to 3 hours behind most of Australia's East Coast and is actually in the same time zone as the West Coast. And most of our clients have their VA working that Australian business hours. So they're online at the same time that you are. So time zones usually isn't an issue. And even if you're in America, they will adapt to your time zone. Communication. So every VA we place has specifically been screened for strong written and verbal communication. So they'll be able to talk to suppliers, respond to customers, and manage your inbox if that's part of what your business needs. And you can be confident that they will meet your standards. And of course, with AI, it's flawless. But if you're possibly thinking, but my business is different, you're right. Every business is unique and different, as is every business owner. And that's why we don't use a template approach or have a bunch of VAs on standby. The recruitment, planning, and onboarding is customized and built around your business, around your tools, your processes, and your clients. and the way that you like to do things. And this helps your VA to get up to speed as quickly as possible. So if you've been curious about whether the VA model actually translates to a tradie business, this is what a typical day looks like for many of our tradie clients who work with VAs. So your VA will be online at like 9 a.m. or whatever time you want them to start. And by the time you're on site, the inbox has been triaged, urgent items have been flagged, yesterday's quoting follow-ups have gone out, and supplier deliveries have been confirmed. So while you're on the tools, the customer updates are being sent, new inquiries are being responded to, and the calendar is being adjusted. And tomorrow's schedule is already taking shape. So by the time you finish for the day, the outstanding invoices have been followed up, job files have been updated, and the loose ends that usually pile up waiting for you to get home have already been dealt with. So that's what it looks like for the trade business owners who we work with when the right structures are in place. Our discovery call is where we work out whether it's the right move for your business. So just 30 minutes, absolutely no pressure, and we'll tell you straight if it's a good fit or if now's the right time. So let's connect, the links below.